And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live on the road today. We're at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Going to be another hot one. Be a good day to get a peach milkshake. Good old-fashioned sweet tea, or half and half, or one sweet, whatever. It's going to be a hot one all the way through the weekend. It's going to be in the 90s. In fact, our football game Friday night, the daytime high is going to be 93. Heat index around 100, so it'll be come Friday night. We'll be down to Morristown with camera and audio, of course. It's going to be a warm one. So it's a warm one today. And that's okay. We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Going to be joined by Captain Benny Carringer coming up in just a few minutes. I am so excited to be a part of the Salvation Army Ring the Bells. We're going to talk about that, how you can really help out some folks for not a whole lot of money you can commit. And also going to encourage you to ring the bells come time when they start it later on here in the fall and the winter. Need your help to do that, please. We'll talk about that. He's here. Doug Fritz is going to join us at the bottom of the hour, sports writer, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. We're going to talk a lot of high school football. The polls are out this week. Got folks ranked in the state, including the Elizabethton Cyclones, number 3 in the state, behind Greenville and Anderson County. We'll talk about that and just talk about another big week of high school football. As I said yesterday, you wait all summer to get here, and boom, you look up, now we're already in week number 2. We're going to look up, and it'll be playoffs. And it'll be, there's my buddy. She won't, I always tell her she's like my wife. She always takes care of me. She's going to bring me some half and half tea. Let's take a look at some birthdays. But anyway, the season flies by. Then Captain Carringer is going to join us after the national anthem. Birthdays today. Remember the show Cheers? Shelley Long, who played Diane, the first lady in Cheers. Kirstie Alley was the second one. But the first love interest on Cheers was Diane Shelley Long. She's having a birthday today. She's 74. There's my doll right there. Thank you, ma'am. You're so nice to me. Barbara Eden, I Dream of Jeannie, having a birthday today, 92. She used to do this. And everything, just things happened when she did this. I was like doing that. Rick Springfield having a birthday, 74 today. Chris Fowler, ESPN sports commentator, he is 61. And if you're a Redskins fan, Sonny Jurgensen having a birthday. You remember him, Captain? Boy, that's terrible. That just dates me. He's 89. I ain't 89, but I remember Sonny Jurgensen. So, anyway, that's the birthdays again on this Wednesday, August the 23rd. Countdown to Christmas at 123 days to Christmas Eve. And with that, Tom, it's August. I know it's August. Don't get on me about talking about Christmas. You been out in the stores lately? I mean, look at all these stores already got their Christmas junk out. I mean, by the time it gets here, it's not junk, but, well, it is, a lot of it's junk. But by the time it gets here, you kind of burn out on it, quite frankly. So don't say, well, you're talking about Christmas too early. I saw a store in June had Christmas stuff out. So don't get on me by giving a countdown. So here we go. Let's roll with it. Let's do the national anthem. Let's bring in Gabe Short to do that, please. Then we're going to be joined by Captain Carringer. As soon as I find him, where is he? Let's go up here. He's been under the eyes, I think. No, he's under the ends today. I got him in 2 different places. National anthem and Gabe Short. There he is, bigger than life. We're going to be talking high school sports, Major League Baseball. The Yankees lost again, 9 in a row. I'm really surprised Boone's still there as a manager, but so far so good. But, when you can't play, you can't play. And they ain't got it. They can't. That's bad English. They have no offense. None. Nada. I'll go ahead and say it. I'm country. They ain't got no offense. They ain't very good, as Daddy would say. Boys, he would say, if it looks like one and it smells like one, it probably is one. And they ain't playing real good right now. The Yankees lost 9 in a row. Braves won. Talk about that. All that coming up. College football. We're going to break down the ACC. Who's it going to be this year? The Seminoles of Florida State or the Clemson Tigers, or maybe a dark horse? Maybe North Carolina State, Louisville. We'll see. We'll talk about that. But first, here they are. Here he is, Gabe Short, and we'll be joined by Captain Carringer. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City on show number 1914 on our way to 2,000. We're 86 away. We're going to have a big celebration. Emmy Morgenstern, she is the financial planner, the wedding planner of all wedding planners and event planners. She's going to plan our 2,000 show. She's talking 2 or 3 days. So, okay. Been doing this for 8 years. I think we can do a 2-3 day show to pay tribute to all the folks been on the show over these 8 years. I don't know if we can get all in 1 2-hour show anyway. So, anyway, we're 86 days out Today's number 2000 or 1914 on our way to 2000. And here, as we said, is Gabe Short with the national anthem. Then the verse of the day. Then Captain Carringer, the Tom Taylor Sports Show. And
oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we've watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet waved o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
And back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Hello, Touchdown Carl. How you doing? Charlie Hutchins, thanks for being with us. Bring it right over there. There he is. How about it? I'm not Captain Benny Carringer. Ain't that handsome, but he's here. How you doing, sir?
Doing well this morning, sir. How are you?
Just fine. Thanks for stopping by again.
Yes, sir.
Again, they've asked us to be, or asked me, I say us, they've asked me to be a part of the, to record some, whatever I'm doing, public service announcements for
Yes,
Salvation
sir.
Army. Is that right? So I said, would you lend your voice to it? I said, absolutely. Would be honored to do that. So that's what we're going to do. And we are going to start that soon. We'll do the verse today, then we'll get into why he's here, because he wants to promote the obvious, the Salvation Army. Doug Fritz joins us at the bottom of the hour. And let's hit it right here. The verse today is out of Zephaniah. Zephaniah 3:17 says, "The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you." Now think about it. This is God. You know you're a scallywag, and I know I'm a scallywag. He says, "I will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing." How about that? Zephaniah 3:17. What a verse. And so that's our verse today. We always unashamedly dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross, and there you go. We did it again today, and we'll continue to do it as long as I'm here doing the show. And I hope I'm going to be around for a while. That's the goal. Salvation Army, good stuff going on. We're gearing up for the holidays, but the need's there in August just like it is in December, right?
Yes, sir. And if anything, it's as we're jumping forth and getting ready for Christmas, we're already starting to see the uptick of what's going to be a successful Christmas season with our Angel Tree, as well as our Red Kettle campaign that we're going to be kicking off here shortly.
Yep. So let's talk about the Red Kettle campaign. We need bell ringers. Is it too early to sign up for that?
It is not. The registertoring.com. Their website went live on Monday, and so you can sign up now. You can sign up all the way until December 22nd. And we stop bringing on the 23rd, as the 24th is on a Sunday this year, so we get to be in church for Christmas Eve.
Amen.
But you can go on there. You can sign up as an individual, as a family, as a church, as a business, or if you need community service hours, this is a great way to get those hours in there and give back to your community.
1 hour, 2 hours. I've done it, so I can tell you firsthand, folks, I got as much out of it as the people threw in the bucket. I'm out there ringing. You see people. They come in, they throw, this is all I've got. I said, whatever you put in is okay. All I got's change. Whatever you put in is going to help goes to the cause, right?
That it does.
Yeah.
82 cents of every dollar stays back in our community so that we can continue to provide those life-changing services, food assistance, rental assistance, eviction prevention. Then, of course, our new program that we're starting, Pathway of Hope. which is where we journey with families to end that intergenerational poverty. That way we're serving grandkids now, so when they work through that program, they're able to sustain and know what it's like to budget and to move forward so that they don't have to face the same struggles they're facing today when they're adults.
You know what I'm going to say, Matthew 25:40. I say it all the time. You watch his shows. You've done it to the least of these, my brethren. You've done it to me. So when you help these folks under the umbrella of Salvation Army, it's as if you help the good Lord himself. That's how I take it literally. So it's an opportunity to give. You say, well, things are tight for me. I get that. I totally understand that. We look around, it's tight for everybody. However, if you can squeeze $5 here, $10 here on a monthly basis, $10 a month, $120 a year, what would that do?
That would do a tremendous amount of work. We right now we're feeding roughly 1,100 meals a month for dinner between those who are staying in our facility and those who are coming to have a hot meal with us. So your generous donation, $10, will provide 5 meals.
There you go. Ringing the bells. Ringthebells.com. So where we go?
Registertoring.com.
Still don't get it right. Registertoring.com. Got to write that down. Registertoring.com is where you need to go, where you can go to register. Be a great activity for a family, a Sunday school class, a youth group, a sports team. How would that be cool to go out there and have your sports team, or some of them? You can't have an entire football team, but 4 or 5 guys, or maybe the seniors, or maybe the freshmen, sign up and go out there and ring the bells. Again, all be there at one time at one place. You've got locations all across Elizabethton and
yep.
Johnson City, right?
Johnson City, Elizabethton, so Carter, Washington, Unicoi, and Greene counties.
Yep. Some of the places will be where?
We have Walmart, Sam's, Hobby Lobby, the mall. We have Walmart in Elizabethton, Food Cities, Kroger's, Ingles.
Yeah. Captain's got a breaking sports news, by the way. He sat down and said, "Did you hear about Thompson Bowling Arena?" I said, "I did not." You want to go ahead and tell him?
So they're saying that Thompson Bowling Arena is now going to be the Thompson Bowling Arena at the Food City Center.
There you go. Food City is going to step up and have naming rights to Thompson Bowling Arena. That'll sell some groceries. Every time you talk about Tennessee men's or the Lady Vols, tonight's game, Thompson Bowling Arena at the Food City Center. Yeah, that's pretty smart marketing by Steve, no question. We'll be at Food City in Gray on Friday, by the way, at Food City Friday. Been doing it, proudly tell you, been doing it for 20 years, going out every Friday and promoting the different food cities and the sales they have. So that's pretty cool. Thompson Bowling Arena at the Food City Center. So there you go. We're talking to Captain Carriger. See, his value is immeasurable. He sat down and he said, because it just apparently just happened, right?
It's breaking news.
Yeah, as I was getting ready to get on the show and setting things up. So back to the Salvation Army. So we ring the bells, or we can give. Or if you're a corporate sponsor out there, you can help out too, right?
Yes, so we do Kettle Match Fridays, where we have corporations and businesses who step up. We've already got one Kettle Match Friday secure, so we have 6 Fridays this year. And if you're a Kettle Match sponsor, what we do is we promote you on our Daytime Tri-Cities WJHL. You get your logo on all of our kettle stands that we're at that day. It's free advertising for you in a way. We highlight you on social media. We talk about how you are a valuable partner for the Salvation Army. The only thing is it's a $10,000 donation. And so you're going to match all the kettles that day up to $10,000. And last year we saw days where we did almost $30,000 because of those kettle matches.
Wow, that's awesome. The need's out there, isn't it?
The need is there. And just, I said this last time, I'm going to say it again. If everyone in our area just gave up one Starbucks drink for one day, that $3 or $4 would hit our kettle goal in one day.
Absolutely, one day. That's exactly right. It's all on how you look at it, or a cup of coffee, or whatever your daily habit is. You can just break it away from one time and throw it money into the kettle. The red kettles, when they're going to be out there, that would go a long, long, long way. So give me some things, a couple of things Salvation Army does that folks go, I didn't know they did that.
So one of our main things is, of course, our shelter. It's open 365 nights a year. We house men, women, and veterans who are experiencing homelessness. We are also in the process of building that addition there for those veterans. That you're going to start to see a lot of movement on that. We've got the footers and everything that's going to be starting to be poured in the next week or so, and so it's going to move right along. And the May 1st is the deadline to get that facility open and then transition our veterans who are currently in our shelter over to that program. Then, of course, we have our utility and rental assistance, our food boxes, and just, the everyday programming. We have women's group, we have a men's group, we have a teen group, We have a group that comes in every Friday and makes flower arrangements. We have a group that comes in twice a month, senior citizens, and plays bingo. So we have a lot of things that go on, a lot of support groups that happen, and you're more than welcome to call our office at 423-926-2101 and speak with Melanie, who's our administrative assistant there, and she can let you know of all the events going on and the dates, and we can get you plugged into those.
Captain Carringer, again, the Salvation Army we're speaking of takes care of Washington, Carter, Unicoi,
And Green.
and Greene County. A lot of need out there, folks. So, social media, how do we find out more?
So the Salvation Army Johnson City has a Facebook page. You're more than welcome to go on there, or you can go to johnsonCitySalvationArmy.org, and you have our website there, and that's also a safe place that you can begin to give. And then, of course, we have our Kettle-a-thon coming up on Giving Tuesday, where we're going to be at the Firehouse Restaurant downtown Johnson City. And so you can give on that day as well, and all that helps support our Christmas needs and our yearly needs so that we can continue to help those in our community on a daily basis.
I'm very honored that he would ask me to do this because I'm all about this. Hello, Lisa Baker. She's a huge fan of the Salvation Army. She's a huge fan of the show. Just a class lady. Hello, Miss Baker. Mrs. Baker, how are you? Patsy Lyons, Carl Wilson. I'm looking down at the tablet down there on the table. Charlie Hutchins, thank you guys and ladies for watching the show. So we want to ring the bells. I'm going to get out there as much as I can. You know, whenever you tell me to start hammering it, I'm going to start hammering it. So please sign up. I guess we can do it starting now, right?
Yeah, you can sign up now.
Yeah. And the website again is?
Registertoring.com.
Got to write. You need to write that down before I leave on a napkin or something before you take off. Registertoring.com. So, chance to ring the bells. Make a difference. Matthew 25:40. As you've done the least of these, my brethren, you've done unto me. So if you as when I stood there and rang the bells, was it last year, maybe the last 2 years, 2 years ago, I'm sure, at Food City. Anyway, people came up and they would apologize. They'd say, "This is all I got." I said, "I'm not judging what you put in. I'm just sticking with what you do it. If you put in 10 cents or $10, it all goes to the cause, right?"
When you donate change, you expect change. And in the Salvation Army, we do that, and we continue to do the most good because of those donations.
He's so smooth. This guy's so smooth. When you donate change, you expect change. Man, what a segue. Went right into that. You're smooth as silk, brother. That's good. I like it. When you donate change, you expect change. And it really, the old adage, Daddy used to say, nickels makes dimes, dimes make quarters, quarters make dollars. It all adds up. And so whatever you can give, and we'll start ringing the bells wins?
November 17th.
November 17th, which is, look, it's going to be here before you know it. We're 123 days till Christmas Eve. People go, stop. But am I not right?
Yes, sir.
There's stuff out in the stores already for Christmas?
Yeah, my wife's already looking to when she can put her Christmas trees up.
There you go. So it's here, or getting here anyway. But first, get a chance to ring those bells. Again, please consider doing this how about as a couple? Maybe a couple can do it, a family can do it. As I said, a ball team, a youth group, what groups am I leaving out could do it? Senior citizen groups?
Anyone. I know last year we had a young family who wanted to ring, and the young boy said, instead of giving me anything for my birthday, whatever you would spend on gifts to everyone who was going to buy him something, he donated to the Red Kettle.
There you go. That's awesome. It's all out there, folks. Please consider doing it. We'll thank you ahead of time. Again, registertoring.com.
Yes, sir.
So you can't teach an old dog new tricks. There you go. Thank you. I'll see you next week. You want to come next week again?
Yes, sir.
Please keep coming. Want to push it to help the Salvation Army. Quick break. We'll be right back. Doug Fritz is here talking high school football next on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken. Literally, the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well. So there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
Quick set locks. You got them in. Got them in stock. Tell me about it.
Yes, that's been one of our latest product lines that we've added here just in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Really, we were looking at a way to get another line of locks that gave us a little bit more variety, a little bit different type style, and user friendly. With quick-set locks, you have a number of options, and we carry those where you can actually key them yourself. So they can be keyed if you lose a key. They come with a insert thing that you can put in there, and you can put a new key in it, and it will actually set the tumblers to your new key. And so you can rekey it on the job site, as well as Quickset also has a number of locks that have like a micro band type of a coating to them that cuts down on the transfer of germs and things of that nature. Really handy if you've got children running around, you don't know where their hands have been, where they've washed them in the bathrooms or whatever, then you've got these locks right here that will probably hinder up to 99% of your germ transfer.
You've also got locks with Quickset for mobile homes, right?
Yes, we've got mobile home locks. We've got kits where you've got 2 locks, 2 deadbolts if you're trying to match your front and your backs as far as that goes. We've got, a lot of different colors and styles. Naturally, brass, has been around for eons of time, but we've got also, the nickel finish, the oil rub bronze or darker ones, and the antique English finish in locks. So you can get just about anything to match about any decor you've got.
Be loyal, buy local, support Big John's Closeouts, like here in Elizabethton again. The hours are open.
We're 7:30 to 6 Monday through Friday and 8 to 4 on Saturday.
How do we find you on social media?
Okay, go ahead and you can, just go to BigJohnsCloseouts.com. You can see both us and Mountain City Store, or you can email questions or requests or quotes that you want. If it's cabinets, you can send it to cabinets@BigJohnsCloseouts.com, or just general inquiries, you can send it to experts@BigJohnsCloseouts.com.
One of our great sponsors, I preach it every day, be loyal, buy local. Support the local folks. It's a local mom and pop company. He's the owner, Mike Barnett, Big John's Closeouts here in Elizabethton, and we appreciate them very much being part of the Tom Taylor Sports Show and Cyclone Sports. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, look who stopped by. My buddy, my friend, my comrade, my brother in Christ, my buddy Doug Fritz. How you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Doing good. Before we got here, I was talking about high school football. I said we wait all summer to get here. We go through the dead period in July, get fall camp started back up, and you wait and you wait and you wait. Now we're already in week number 2. We're going to look up at the halfway point. It just seems like once it starts, it just flies through, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, and it's just, you imagine how the coaches feel, because they're trying to get things done on the fly, and like you said, next thing it's halfway through, and they hadn't fixed some of the stuff they wanted to fix after week 1. It's a tough season. It's short, it's fast, and the weather's changing, and so
they talk about. Coaches have always said, since I've been around with these coaches for years, that your biggest improvement typically is between your first game and second games where you see the most improvement, or you should. Is that still a fair statement?
it is, and you got some teams that are really banking on that came out in first week and didn't do what people expected them to do. Science Hill, Tennessee High, some others, that they want that to be true more than anything because they didn't play the way they were capable of in week 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You were there. Before we get into the polls and what around the state and all that going on, what was your take on the Science Hill game?
Well, I always like to look at it and give it a little bit of time, and then go back and talk to the coaches and stuff. And after having done that, I think obviously Elizabethton's defense was really good, but they took advantage of some things that Science Hill didn't do well. But as a football team, that doesn't mean you're less good. It just means you're smart. So they've got a good and a smart defense. But Science Hill made a lot of offensive mistakes. They've got some things they got to shuffle in and out. But I still think it's two pretty good football teams. I know Elizabethton's good. I was impressed with them across the board. Offense, defense, special teams. I saw the Morristown West coach said that Sean Witten had them in midseason form already.
Championship pedigree is what he said. Yeah.
But, it's early. And I think Elizabethton's going to have to be careful not to get too big of a head from that. But they've done good with that. They had that 4-game winning streak against Science Hill, and it just boosted them. It didn't cause them trouble, so I don't think they'll have trouble this time. But I really expect to see Science Hill come out and play much better against Anderson County. I know they're going to be challenged. I know Anderson County's a real good football team, but I expect Science Hill to shore up some problems and do better.
Science Hill's better than what they showed Friday night for whatever reason. Whether they, of course, one of the reasons, obviously, Elizabethton had a large part in the outcome of the football game, the way they played. But Science Hill's still better than, I think, than what they showed. That the Emil kid can play. Swartz didn't have a good passing game. And, again, all this is attributed to the Cyclone football team. But I still think you're going to see a better performance by Science Hill week number 2 and on down the road. I don't think one game does a season make, win or lose. That's the way I think. It's 10 games, not one. And so, Cyclones get on that bus. We're heading down to Morristown on Friday night. We're going to stream it, video and audio. Science Hill travels to Anderson County. I thought the kid on the field Friday night for Science Hill, Baylor Necessary, the man among boys, he was a stud. He played tough linebacker for Science Hill.
And one thing Coach Carter said about him, he made plays when they got out of alignment on defense. He made plays. So it's like it wasn't like he was a one-man show, but it just shows you the type of player he is. That even when things break down and don't go right, he can still get in there and make plays. And we've lost your sign there.
Oh, it's because I'm moving stuff around too much.
But he is a good football player. He's got a lot of football left in front of him at Science Hill, and he's going to be a force for him all season.
Oh, yeah. To me, clearly he was the star of the team Friday night for Science Hill. He was all over the place and made a lot of big plays for the Science Hill Hilltoppers. So, again, 27-7, we know the final score. So let's jump in here and go. We'll start in 6A. We'll run down the top 10. This is the Tennessee football polls. Murfreesboro, Oakland at number 1, Bradley Central, Maryville, Riverdale, Germantown. Then you have Farragut, Brentwood, Bearden, Collierville, and Cane Ridge. Dobbins, Minot, and Science Hill both get honorable mention votes. You okay at the top 10 there? Murfreesboro, Oakland being number 1?
I'm okay with anything in the early going, pretty much. There's a couple of things that I don't like about them. If we go down through there, I may point those out. But I gave Dobbins Bennett the vote. Somebody else gave Science Hill the vote down there at number 9, or maybe Science Hill got a couple of 10s. But I don't think either of those teams deserve to be in the top 10 at this point. So we'll see what happens from here on out.
5A football, Knox West number 1. Then comes Page and Powell. They're tied for second, or Powell's going to be third by the slimmest of margins. 4th in the state, Henry County. Then comes Nolensville, Springfield, Beach, Munford, Sevier County, the Smoky Bears, and Centennial. Daniel Boone from our area gets an honorable mention. What's your take on the 5A?
I like Beach a lot higher than they've got him. I mean, that's a team that was in 6A, and now they're in 5A, and they made it to the finals last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're going to be up there. Obviously, though, Knoxville West is clear-cut favorite to win it all again. Got a lot of people back from last year and ran through it last year.
They got a dynasty going down there, don't they? Knox West.
Yeah, and it's the old Morristown West coach that's down there, and he's done a good job. They got a lot of talent, but you can have a lot of talent and not win state championships. You have to be a good coach to do that.
4A football, number 1 team in the state this week, the Greenville Green Devils, got 162 votes. Anderson County got 137. Elizabethton's third in the state. They got 129 votes. Then comes Pearl Cone. It is Cone, isn't it? I've heard it say Cone and Con.
I think it's Pearl Cone.
I always say Cone. Red Bank, Haywood County, Upperman, Hardin County, Stone Memorial, and Marshall County are your top 10 in 4A. You okay with that?
I like Elizabethton at 2 because I'm a big on-the-field guy. And granted, Anderson County played Powell, but Elizabethton played a 6A team. So,
yeah.
I think Elizabethton's 2, Anderson's 3 right now, even though Anderson's defending champ on the field. Now, if Anderson County had won by 1 point and Elizabethton had won by 60, I still would be okay with Anderson County in front of them. But they lost, and Elizabethton won. So,
well, here's the thing with me. This is me talking. Anderson County won it last year. That's last year. So, there's defending state champ. That's last year. I mean, what you did on the field Friday night this week is what counts. For everybody, not just for –
right.
I mean, I'm not picking on Anderson County, but to say, well, it's like the Chiefs, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. Okay, that was last year. This year it's a brand new team. Personnel's moved around, blah, blah, blah. So, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. For us media boys, the defending Super Bowl champs. But, again, I guarantee you with the Chiefs, he's probably telling them they ain't worth a plug nickel. And
I guarantee you.
We're starting 0-0. So, anyway, Anderson County second in the state. Elizabethton is third. It'll all continue to move around. In 3A football, you've got Alcoa. Talking about a dynasty. There's I mean, they won in a row.
It's 8, and if they get to 9, it'll be the third longest streak in the history of football across the nation. A team from Phoenix did it back in 1928, and there's a couple of teams that are tied with 14. But not Elizabethton, but Alcoa, trying to make history this year by winning number 9, and they changed coaches too. You know, last year was the first year for that new coach, and he kept it going. So this is a big season for them. I mean, but then again, you know, you look and who's going to challenge them? I mean, Pittman's ranked number 3, and Alcoa just wears them out year in year out. So maybe East Nashville, I don't know, but it looks like they got a good their sights set on number 9.
Here's the top 10: Alcoa, East Nashville, Gatlinburg, Pittman, Dyersburg, Giles County, Covington, Sweetwater, Westview, Tyner Academy out of Chattanooga, Meigs County, and Chucky Doak. Black Knights crack it. Congratulations to the Black Knights. They're at number 10, or call it number 11, I guess, in the state. So why do we not talk more? Because I read your article about him the other day. I love this guy. He gives so much history. I'm going to selfishly tell you that I use a lot of what Doug Fritz writes and does for my broadcasts on Friday night in all the sports, not just in football. So I did not realize Alcoa had won 8 in a row. Why do we not? I mean, you know, we talk about John Wooden winning 10 straight national championships in college basketball, UCLA. These guys won 8 in a row, and they changed coaches last year and won again. Why are we not buzzing more about Alcoa statewide? Or are we, and I'm just missing it?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, they're, you know, obviously they make a big deal of them down around Knoxville. I think one of the things is a lot of people probably don't pay enough attention to history, and you know, they've just, and maybe it will this year because they've reached such a high plateau. Maybe it'll be more resounding, and you know, they're getting on a national level there too. So they'll get their due.
Pigeon Forge. They're way down the road. I was going to say they got an honorable mention there this week in where am I looking at?
2A.
2A, which is where we're headed. You have 2A, Riverside number 1, Milan number 2, Huntington 3, Hampton, the Bulldogs number 4. We'll get back to that in a minute. York Institute, East Robertson, Lewis County, Marion County, Smith County, Fayetteville, Fritz County, all kinds of counties in there. So South Green got an honorable mention in 2A football. So what's your take on the 2A rankings this week? How about them Bulldogs?
That's the one I have some issue with there. Riverside number 1 at 0-1. I mean, unless they were playing the Chiefs in week 1, then, you know, I can't rank a team number 1 that lost their first game. Who knows what kind of season they're going to have? Mm-hmm. They may have everybody back, but I'm still not ranking them number 1. That's why you see if Milan had 4, some other people agreed with me, went with Milan number 1. And then you got, you know, Huntington, Hampton, and Riverside all lost, and they're 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't know. I'm okay with them being ranked. I'm okay with them being ranked high with just 1 loss, but I'm not okay with them being number 1. Not, like I said, not. Maybe if they'd have played Oakland, Murfreesboro, Oakland, 6A team, or maybe if they'd have played Knoxville West. I know they did play a tough team, and maybe that's why some people ranked them there. But I got Milan number 1, and I'm a little stubborn on that.
Hello, Jason Markley. Are you broadcasting game Morristown this week? Yep. Video or audio, both. Have them both. We'll be doing video and audio. Absolutely. Going to be there ready to go at Burke Tony Stadium on the turf. It's going to be hot Friday night.
Ooh, yeah.
You always add about 10 degrees temperature on the turf. It's supposed to be 93 anyway. The heat index 100. So it's going to be hot on Friday night for all the high school football teams. The next week, I'll see where it's going to drop down. Daytime high is going to be in the 70s. So here we make a little change, looks like. A little bit more fall-like weather, which will be good. Single A football. Let's take a look at it. McKenzie, number 1, South Pittsburgh, Dresden, Coalfield, Whitwell, Union City, Gordonsville, Cloudland, Highlanders 8th in the state. Sale Creek and Moore County are your top 10. And what's your take on the 1A?
I just think McKenzie and South Pittsburgh are on a collision course to meet in the finals. That should be the 2 best football teams in Class A. You know, if they stay healthy and things fall into place.
So you look at your polls for this week. Got some surprises and some not so surprises, obviously. So you're ready for week number 2. Let me put them back on. I thought I was going to be able to work without my spectacles, but apparently I'm not going to be able to do that. So here we go. Because I'm probably going to get you back on this week. So let's run down who you think's going to win some of these games. Well, let's start right down the sheet here. No particular order. Science at Anderson County. What do you think?
Anderson County got the quarterback from Jeff County. I think they got another kid in there too, maybe a receiver. But I think Stacy Carter had a lot of optimism coming into the season. I'm gonna think Sciential gets their season back on track here and sets themselves up for their first region game the following week. So I think they'll win. I think it'll be a good football game.
Sciential wins at Anderson County Friday night. Greenville at Dobbins-Benton. Who you like there?
Well, Greenville, it's so hard to pick against them, and their quarterback, the Cannon kid, put up really good numbers in his first game, and golly, I don't like picking against Greenville, so I'm not going to, but I think Dobbins-Benton's got a chance to beat them.
At home, apparently Will Hurd had a pretty good game at quarterback for DB, what I read the stats. So DB and Greenville at J. Fred Johnson Stadium Friday night. By the way, those two games are 7:30 kickoffs. Let's go through the other 7:30s, and everything else will be 7. The other 7:30 game, Hampton at Johnson County. How do you like that one Friday night?
Gotta like Hampton there, but Johnson County's got a good team this year. That should be a battle.
Unicoi County, 7:30 kickoff to play at Happy Valley and Warriors Hill. I know Happy Valley lost a heartbreaker by 2 points to Cloudland, so can they bounce back?
I think Unicoi County wins, but I think it's a really good football game. It's not been close the last couple of years. I think it will be this year.
All right, the 7 o'clock kickoffs. Westridge at Daniel Boone. Daniel Boone got shut out the other night, which I thought that doesn't happen very often for a Coach Jenkins team, but Urban, North Carolina got them. I think it was 7-0. So Westridge at Daniel Boone. Westridge coming off the 40-0 win, shutout win over Volunteer down there. So who do you like in Gray Friday night?
This is one of those ones that, I just like to kind of stay away from it a little bit because, you don't know how good the other states are in football. Maybe that Asheville team is just loaded and strong and great on defense. I just don't know anything about them. I'm gonna go with Boone, but that could be just. I'm just not sure. I mean, that to me, it's toss a coin there, and I need more data.
Show me some more numbers, he says. Cherokee goes to Crockett Friday night in Jonesboro. Pioneers or the Chiefs on the road?
Cherokee's quarterback, little sophomore, is looking good. Crockett. Here's the thing: Crockett just turned it over at will against South Green. I think they fixed that. Hayden Shanley's a good coach, and I think Crockett bounces back and gets a really tight win.
Tennessee High goes to Sullivan East. Apparently selling tickets that are like hotcakes. It's the first time I think they've played in 10 years, if I remember correctly. So Tennessee High to East on Friday night. Big backyard rivalry between Bristol and Bluff City. Who wins that one?
Well, if you go with history, it's Tennessee High because they haven't lost to Sullivan East, so I'm going with Tennessee High.
Drake Fisher was your player of the week, the quarterback for Sullivan East. He's a dandy.
He is a dandy.
Then you have Granger at Chucky Doak. As we told you earlier, Chucky Doak got top 10 ranking this week in the state. So Granger, 4A team, will take on Chucky Doak, a 3A team in Chucky. Who wins that one?
We'll go with Granger. Not enough information this early on, but I'm going to go with the road team.
Lakeway Christian plays at Volunteer. Who gets that one Friday night?
Well, they've each scored this many points. That's zeros. So somebody's going to get their first points because if they don't score in 4 quarters, they'll go to overtime until somebody does. Somebody's going to get some points. I'm going with Lakeway.
West Green at Cloudland.
Going to go with West Green, but I think Cloudland will give them a battle. Cloudland, they did well last week holding off Happy Valley, a team that's usually giving them trouble. So
you got West Green winning at Cloudland. Yep. All right. Okay, ours, of course, Elizabethton at Morristown West. What do you think there?
Going to go with the Cyclones, but, West got off to a nice start, beat Morristown East by 30 points. Obviously, they've got some good things going on, but Elizabethton, until I see otherwise, they look like the real deal.
I would agree. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I don't want to get too fired up, too excited after one game, but as I said, one game a season does not make, but pretty impressive win.
When we both saw the benefits of the Sciential game in their state championship seasons and their state runner-up seasons, they kept beating Sciential, and they kept feeding off of that and getting off to a good start. And then by the time they were ready to play Greenville, they had a lot of confidence and momentum and stuff. And that first year they played Greenville, and they beat them. And tough, close games, and one time they blew them out. But I think beating Science Hill just elevates those kids and focuses them and really helps them going on forward.
Won 3 in a row in Johnson City now. Last 3 games played in Johnson City have been won by the Cyclones, which I think is a pretty impressive stat. Some of the old timers that don't ever remember winning 3 in a row in Johnson City by Elizabeth, and so I don't know that, but it sure was pleasing to the older crowd that, everybody wants to beat Greenville. It's almost like Tennessee. The older folks still have the Alabama rivalry. The younger folks still, I say younger, the younger generation still wants to beat Florida. I mean, everybody wants to beat both of these, but the older people that I'm around, volunteer fans, say when you beat Alabama, that's your big game. And I think for a lot of Cyclone fans, they beat Science Hills, that's their big game. So, and they did. And so now we move on to round 2, as we said, week number 2. And so we're going to be ready to roll again against Morristown West. We've got volleyball and soccer. You had a chance to follow much of that right now?
Just done just a little cursory look at it. I think Science Hills girls got a big win over Dobbins Bennett last night, set themselves up. I think they're going to have a real good season. I think DB was expecting this to be their year and finally break through and beat Science Hill, and they didn't do it. So good start for Science Hill, and Tanner does a great job with volleyball for us. He knows more about that than I do, and Science Hill's golf team, I did a little feature story today about their young golfers. They're tremendous, and they're going to be good. And in fact, golf's out over at Pine Oaks right now as we speak, playing the conference tournament.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out.
Yep. So.
And you got cross country kicking up too. You got the Run for the Hills, I think, coming up if I'm not mistaken. So everybody's getting in the swing of it now.
It's girls soccer in high gear. So. They've only played 1 or 2, so we'll wait another week or so to get your take on the soccer because they're just really getting going. Volleyball plays about every night. Well, so does soccer, but it seems like they haven't really got going yet, so we'll save that for next week. But we'll talk about soccer. So I guess in closing, you were there Friday night. How about the atmosphere at the Science Hill Elizabeth game? Was that not crazy? It was pretty intense on both sides, wasn't it?
It's just really good and really nice to see because Science Hill's had a really rough go of it getting people out to the ball games. I think Stacy Carter's made some inroads in that by getting some of this youth football started and letting some of the youth kids in and bring their parents with them and stuff. So it was good to see a really big crowd there. It'll be interesting to see what the crowd looks like for Science Hill against Jeff County here, not this week but next. But yeah, and anytime Science Hill and Elizabethton plays, whether it's in Elizabethton or Johnson City, it's different. I mean, the only other game that there's about 4 of them. You got Science Hill, Elizabethton, you got Boone and Crockett. They're going to be like that. Elizabethton, Greenville, Science Hill, Dobbins, Bennett. And that may be it. Those 4 games, I may be missing one. If I am, I apologize. But those 4 games, the atmosphere is different than any other game in the area, and it's really just fun to be there for those games. This year you can't be there for Greenville, Elizabeth, and Science Hill DB because they play the same week.
They do.
So you can't see both of them.
No. You have to enjoy one and listen to the other one, I guess. Yeah. So, and this year, the playoffs are set up where the teams that stay home locally this year, win will stay home in the playoffs because everybody comes this way this year in the football playoffs. So if you win your region or your conference or your region, then you'll be at home as long as you can. Normally you got to travel, but this year we traveled last year. This year everybody will come our way, which is an added bonus.
And it's interesting too, like in 4A, because the trifecta there, Greenville, 2 state championships in a row, Elizabethton, 2 state championships in a row and a runner-up. Now Anderson County, a state championship. What's that? 2, 4, 6 years, and it's all that little group of 3 there that's where the road to state championship comes. That's why it's that's another reason why Elizabethton can't get too happy with their win because Greenville's looking great, and Anderson County, even though they lost, they got a new quarterback who was one of the best in the area when he was healthy before he came there. So, good football with those 3 teams, and home field advantage is going to play a role there. You want to get that home field advantage and be on your turf, for those key games. Those key games are coming in the playoffs, barring something unexpected. Greenville, Elizabeth, and Anderson County are going to match up in the playoffs at some point in some way.
Well, the way the schedule lands this year for Elizabethton and Greenville, they play the last game of the regular season in Elizabethton on October the 27th. more than likely, unless Chicken Little the sky falls, more than likely they're going to play each other again in the playoffs within a couple of weeks and do it all over again. Normally, Greenville's early in the season, and this time around they're the last game of the regular season. And I think in theory you would play them in week number 2. I think it's how it works. Opening round in week number 2 if both teams get there. It's been very premature, but just going on past history. So you turn right around and play them in week 2 or week 3, and I don't have it here in front of me.
So the thing you want to do is Elizabeth and Greenville. You win your region title, because if you win your region title,
you're at home.
You're at home, but you don't have to play Anderson County and Greenville.
Oh, that's true.
You got to play one or the other.
One or the other.
So
that's exactly right.
So if Elizabeth had played Greenville, it'd be in the quarterfinals if they get there. But but that's way down the road. We can't even at this point we can't discount Sullivan East, because they're off to a good start. If they were somehow able to beat Tennessee High, that may spur them on to some bigger and better things. But so I'm not trying to overlook any of those teams, but that's a big 3, and they've proven it over 6 years. And even in those 6 years, if you remember, Anderson County was in that mix. They were playing Greenville. I can't think it was either the first or second year Greenville won one of their state championships. They had a little quarterback who was just wearing Greenville out, and he tore his ACL during the course of the game.
Yep.
I think they were up 21-0 in that game, and Greenville came back and beat him. That kid got hurt. I may be mixing some years together, but Anderson County was knocking at the door along these ways, and they finally broke through last year. So I mean, this has been a long run of great football from those 3 schools.
Well, I know for the Cyclones, it starts down at T.A. Duggar. We'll have their game tomorrow against Sevier in the home opener. Last week they went to Daniel Boone, beat them 50-0. Boone had 1 first down the whole game, so it was a complete, obviously a pretty dominating performance.
It's dominating, yeah.
T.A. Duggar's got, you're not going to believe this, I counted them. Of course, Ryan told me this, and Brock Pittman. They got 88 kids on the football team.
Wow.
Middle school.
88 kids.
88 kids.
So
it's like ants.
Does Science Hill even have that many on their
I don't know.
varsity? I mean, that's a lot. 88.
They got off the bus, so they honestly, it looked like ants. It's like I kept thinking they're still coming. They got them packed in there. I mean, and of course they played JV, and then the JV won 42-6. So Duggar's kids put 92 points on the board in 2 games. So my point is, and you go down to Greenville the same way. I'm sure Anderson County. Well, I know they got a middle school, so I'm sure the system and the guy that got this going, in my opinion, was George Quarles down in Maryville. Remember that he had his middle school kids running the same plays as the high school, and so when they got up there, it's just second nature. Well, now in Elizabeth, that's what they're doing. Junior Cyclones, T.A. Duggar High School. That's what Stacy's trying to incorporate over here. He's brought the junior topper program in-house, so the junior toppers, when they start playing, by the time they get to high school, they can do it in their sleep because they got all those plays stamped in their brain. So, and that's, it's called a system.
Yep.
Kansas City Chiefs had it. New England Patriots have it. New York Yankees had it. Maybe not this year. The Cardinals. I mean, you take any franchise that's successful in any sport, there's a system in place, and that's what's going on in high school football. Would you agree?
Yeah. Well, if you look at that success, there's 2 ways to have success. There's to have a great group of kids come through, and then you'll have about 3 years where you're good and you beat people and you have a chance to win the state or whatever. That's one way. But if that's all you got, then once that group's gone, you fall off the other end of it and you're mediocre.
Yeah.
If you have sustained success and you get the group like the Bryson Rollins kids, that group comes through, you win state championships, but you don't fall off. You don't have Bryson Rollins in them anymore. But you got these other kids who are pretty good too, but there's so many of them, there's strength in numbers. Now you're still good, and you stay good because you keep the system, keep kids coming through, and it all starts. You got to, especially in football, basketball, baseball, you got to get those kids playing young so they understand the basics of the game. Then when you get in high school, you can do a little bit of fancy stuff with them instead of trying to teach them how to block and tackle.
Because they've got the core plays down in the brain.
Yep.
Which is why I think it's so much more impressive for me personally to know that Alcoa won last year with a brand new coach.
Yeah.
They won 7 in a row. They switched head coaches. There wasn't a drop off. In fact, they went and won again. Now, you know as well as I do, when you make an employee change, be it a coach, a teacher, a worker, there's a learning curve. And in this case, for a coach, kids got to learn the coach got to learn the kids. I don't know where he came from. He was elevated from the staff. Don't know, but that doesn't matter either. If you're a new coach, there's a there's just this is a learning curve, period. So for him to take Alcoa and win another championship as a first-year brand-new coach is very, very impressive.
Well, he followed a legend of legends with Gary Rankin. I mean,
Yeah.
Rankin, his victory totals up in the national levels, the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. I'm throwing stuff out here off the top of my head. I'm not 100% sure, but that's a program thing. And Alcoa has to do that in the shadow of Maryville.
Mhm.
And you got
Good
kids.
point.
Sure, they get some kids. And Maryville gets that, but I mean that's the shadow of what was the program. Now, I mean, with the way things have gone the last few years, I think Alcoa is, well, they're at least on even par with Maryville. It's hard. Oakland has the best program in the state because they're 6A. They won 3 in a row. You can't argue with that. Alcoa's 3A. They won 8 in a row, but they wouldn't win 8 in a row if they were 6A. Maybe. I don't think they would. I would have loved to see Alcoa, though, bump up to 5A, just somewhere along the way here in this thing, and bump up. And because, I mean, in 3A, you look at the rankings, there's East Nashville, you look at them, okay, maybe they could play Alcoa a tough game, but there's just not anybody else. Then that may develop, but right now,
no.
Who's going to stop them? But if they were in 5A, they'd have to play Knoxville West, they'd have to play Powell. And these would be teams they could compete with, and I know that because they compete with Maryville, so they compete with the 5A teams too. So that would have been fun.
Hard to believe it's week number 2,
Yeah.
as I said earlier. You wait forever to get here, it seems like, and boom, week 1, now we're getting ready to go into week 2. And as you said, the coaches scramble every week to get ready for the next opponent. It's just part of it. But so should be a great night of high school football. The weather it'll play into it this week because of the heat. And
Yeah, I'm glad Science Hill's got a 7:30 start, giving an extra 30 minutes for things to cool down. Most teams are going at 7. I'm a big proponent of 7 o'clock starts, but if they start at 7:30 when it's really hot, I'd understand why. Because the kids they're going to cramp. I mean, especially if what happens too is when it gets real hot like that, and then the sun goes down, and then that's that sharp cool off. That's where I think it gets them a lot of time, that third quarter,
Yep.
early fourth quarter, and you see kids going down on every other play, it seems like.
got to keep them hydrated. So because on a turf, a lot of teams are playing on turf now, of course. It's usually 10, 12 degrees hotter minimum on the turf because the heat bouncing off the asphalt up underneath or whatever's concrete, I guess it's asphalt, whatever it is, it makes it hotter. And it's even hotter on the grass, too. Hot's hot. So, anyway, it's going to be 92, 93 Friday, the daytime high. Heat index is going to be up around 100. So, all these teams will be doing a lot of hydration. And when I played, remember, did you ever have taken big salt pills? When I played, they gave you, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why. They just want to torture us, I guess. I'm sure there's a reason why, but they don't now. They used to give these big, of course, I was up in West Virginia. It's a different world up there. So, I got salt pills, looked like a dad blame. I don't know, it looked like a capsule.
Yeah.
It was a capsule. Pop that thing, and you'd sweat like a pig. And I don't know why they asked, I don't know why, but you had to take salt pills before games.
I remember in practice when I was at DB and we were practicing football, some of the kids, I got this fancy Yeti cooler now, but back then they'd get a jug, like an old milk jug. They'd fill it full of water and put it in the freezer and get it out, come to practice with it, and they'd set it down under the goalpost on the practice field. And by the time we were about halfway through practice, it had melted enough they'd get ice cold water out of it.
Those are the days.
Yeah, you had to improvise.
Yeah, exactly right. So I remember our coach, it's the craziest thing. I'll never forget this, but he would go, there was a big maple tree off by the football field. He'd go out and get all these leaves on the maple tree, put them on top of his ball cap, and pour water on it. And he'd say, boys, putting that water on those leaves keeps my head cool the whole practice.
Never heard of that. That's a
Well,
West Virginia
that's West
thing, too.
Virginia right there. So
Did he also drink salt pills too?
no, he made us eat the salt pills, but he put those leaves on top of his hat and poured water in it, and then slapped it on his head. Of course, all the water ran out. He said, "Those leaves keeps his head cool for the practice."
Oh, that's
Almost
interesting.
heaven, West Virginia. There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
John Denver.
It is what it is.
That's it.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank
Always
you.
a pleasure.
Appreciate it.
I will tell you again, the article Doug wrote a couple of weeks ago has gotten a lot of positivity, and I want to thank him publicly. I'm not going to do it every time he comes, but it's been the first time he's been here since the article came out, so thank you. It's not about me. it's all about the Lord, and you gave him proper credit, as you should have. And so it's, as I said yesterday, people take this way, way, way too seriously. So, and yes, do I want Elizabeth to win? Yeah, I'm their announcer. Absolutely want them to win. But you know what? Friday night about 10 o'clock, win or lose, he's still on the throne, ain't he?
Yeah, it's interesting. On the way over here, I was listening to a pastor, and he was speaking about encouragement, and he was talking about how, you know, he talked about a kid who was in trouble a lot at school, so they called his parents in, and when the parents came in, the principal told them 10 positive things about this boy who's in trouble all the time. And Dad said, okay, so what else? No, that's it. I just want to tell you these 10 positive things. So Dad goes back and tells the kid, here's what they said about you. And now I don't know where this was or whatever, but within just a short period of time, this kid's behavior changed. Now he was causing trouble and stuff, but, you know, and there's a time obviously where you have to lay down the law. There's a time for that. But, you know, encouragement. So, you know, if a team's not doing well, they say it's not the end of the world. You know, they can still be encouraging and lift them up. Coaches have to demand things of the kids, but they can't forget the positivity too, because this is life. Life is more important than football.
We had a game changer at my house. I'll tell you this. He's gone. He's been gone 30 years. But, you know, I came home one night after basketball, and I didn't have a very good game. And so he wasn't yelling anything. He said, why did you dribble the ball off I had a fast break going down the floor, and I took my I was looking down the floor, dribbled off and put out of bounds. Goes the other way. They score.
Come on, Tom.
Yeah. They jumped all over me. When I got home, I just looked at him. I said, I'll never forget his face, because it just clicked. I said, you think I did that intentionally? No. I said, I didn't. I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to dribble off my foot. I just got excited, dribbled down the court. I said, but I didn't mean to. And I'll never forget his face, and went like, you know what? I'm taking this way too serious. You're right. And I said, I didn't mean to. And when a kid drops the football Friday night or fumbles it or whatever he does wrong, he ain't doing it intentionally. He just doing it because he's a kid, for crying out loud. He's 15, 16, 17 years old. They don't know who they are half the time.
I love it, too, when you see a kid. I remember Jay Bird fumbled the first time. I think he carried the ball. He fumbled. His teammate recovered it. Mm-hmm. He didn't fumble anymore.
No.
And sometimes when you make a mistake like that, it helps you, because you say, okay, now I've got to keep this thing in mind. I got to do things a little bit differently. And you get you're out there excited, you're playing. Sometimes it brings you back in. But one of the, it's just in every game, if you look at the number of mistakes that are made in every football game, you can't even count them. There are so many.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen.
They're kids.
Yep.
If I could pound it into these people's head, the people out there watching now, do I want mine to win? Absolutely. I want to do well. But I've told her 100 times, told her this Sunday night. I said, your love, your self-worth in my eyes is not predicated on how many baskets you make, because she plays basketball, or how many baskets you miss. I'm going to love you the same. And you don't have to come on and expect to be browbeat, because you know what? When I had a crummy game, and when you had a crummy game, you knew that. Nobody had to tell you. Your girlfriend didn't have to tell you. Your mama didn't have to tell you. When you came home, you stunk it up. Nobody had to tell you. It's like, go home, lay down in bed, look up and sit and go, God, I stunk it up tonight. So you don't have to be told. So kids know that.
I want to say one other thing, too, about, it made me think, too, about the fumble there. But Todd Brazee was shooting photos for us, and he got a really good shot of Jay Bird running with the ball. And if you look at that photo's so clear, you can see his sock that he's gone on. You know what his sock says?
Mm-mm.
It says Philippians 4:13. So that's what it's all about. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That's what life's about. To understand that when things go good, give Christ the glory. When things go bad, look to the Lord for help.
Yeah.
It's all
Just
vertical.
Enjoy the
it's all
game.
Vertical.
It's kids, for crying out loud. His parents go bananas, and I get that to a point. But again, I'm beating the horse, but just enjoy the game and don't make it everything about your life. It ain't all about your life. So it is that which it is. So anyway, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at either college football, Major League Baseball, one of those two, next on the Tom Taylor Sports Show live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City.
Reminds me of the Eagle Center, and it said, things tell a story when people no longer can. And that's kind of appropriate for our store, because when you walk throughout the store, so many things spark a memory or a reminder of a family member or a place or a time long ago. And the antique and vintage decor that we have can really add some character and some conversation to your home, as well as bring back memories and things of times past.
Absolutely. What's the hours you're open?
We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. And we usually stay late on the Saturdays for the car shows.
Social media?
So we have a Facebook page, Eagle Center Co-op.
And you're physically located where in downtown Elizabethton?
507 East Elk Avenue. It's in the second block of downtown. Hard to miss.
Yep.
First big building.
One of our great sponsors on Cyclone Football. Got to check them out. The good folks downtown. Eagle Center Co-op. I believe in the place, believe in her, believe in the facility. And be loyal, buy local, and buy it in Betsy. One of our great sponsors, Eagle Center Co-op in downtown Elizabethton.
We're proud to help our region move forward and help reopen every business we can.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, we're live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Thanks for being with us. Hello, Inez Burton. Hello, dear. I miss you here today. Brian Hartsick. Hello, sir. Lisa Baker says our game's now 7:30. Okay. Hello, Thomas Stout. Tony Briggs, Cyclone Touchdown Club. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. They do a great job for these kids, and so appreciate them very much. Let's take a look at some. How about some Major League Baseball? How about that? Be a good thing to run down through right now. We're live here. Going to be with you till 1 o'clock tomorrow at the Jewelers Bench. Sean Witten be by tomorrow. Talk about Cyclone football. Also, Greg will be there tomorrow talking Major League Baseball. We'll be talking to Sherry tomorrow about what's going on with the Jewelers Bench. 123 days till Christmas Eve, so it'll be here before you know it, and they're already laying away at Jewelers Bench in Elizabethton. So those ladies, you heard me, didn't you? And you rolled your eyes, so I'm not ready either, but it's coming. So they got Christmas in a lot of the stores now. So anyway. As soon as I said that, she started like, no, don't say that. So, two young ladies over here getting some lunch. We appreciate them. All right, let's take a look at Major League Baseball. The Yankees, 9 straight they lost for the first time in 41 years. Whew. They ain't happy in the Big Apple, I can tell you that. They are not happy campers. Again, with Aaron Boone, the manager. The last 10-game losing streak for the Yankees go all the way back to 1913. They're hoping it won't happen tonight, but the Yankees lose last night. They got beat by the Washington Nationals, of all people. Not exactly a powerhouse team. And so we'll go down through those coming up in a minute. New York's been outscored. Wow. New York has been outscored 53-20 since the losing streak started. They've not had a lead since August the 14th. They haven't won since August the 11th down in Miami. The last time they held a lead was August 14th against the Braves, ironically enough, in Atlanta when they went on to lose. So they are struggling in the Big Apple right now, to say the least. Some people are all about that. They love it because they can't stand the Yankees. But hello, Ashley Blevins. Hello, Bobby Stout. Hello, Pastor. Love you, sir. But you know that. Miss Jan. Coconut cream pie. She could market coconut cream pie. Lawsy mercy. Had a piece of that last week. Woo, doggies. As Jed Clampett would say, that was good stuff there now. Marcell Ozuna. Oh. He had a home run, finished a triple shy of the cycle last night. He is red smoking hot. They beat the Mets 3-2. Bryce Elder held the Mets to 1 run over 5 1/3. Eddie Rosario's 2-run shot of the second. Then Ozuna came back in a solo shot in the 5th off Mets starter Tyler McGill. Rosario's home run made him the 7th Braves player with at least 20 home runs. Pretty impressive. First time the clubs had more than 6 players reach this mark. There's also a chance Orlando Arcia and Michael Harris may get there too. Arcia's got 14, Harris got 11. So Ozuna, who's homered 3 times in the first 2 games of the series, he is red hot. Now just 3 shy of his second career 30 home run season. Braves are getting it done, of course. And so talk more about them coming up in a moment. White Sox said we've had enough. They fired their executive vice president, Ken Williams, and general manager Rick Hahn, effective immediately. So we're done. We're not going anywhere. End of the day at 49-77. 16 games behind first place Minnesota. The organization went through a stated rebuild in the last 10 years. They got in the playoffs back in 2020 and 2021, but only won 2 postseason games during those years. White Sox 81 last season, and so they are looking for a new front office. They fired the executive vice president and general manager Rick Hahn. So you got here's my question. You have anywhere between 35 to 40 games left, depending on the team, in the regular season. I mean, why now? If you're going to do it, why don't you go and just wait the end of the season? I mean, so now you're going to change everything in the middle of the stream. It's just me. I don't know why you would do that. Hello, Della Campbell. Thank you, dear, for watching the show. So anyway, that's what's going on in Chicago. The White Sox have cleaned out 2 of the front office people. Cleveland's Terry Francona, 64-year-old manager. Got to decide whether he's got a lot of health issues. Got to decide whether he's going to keep managing or hang it up. He said, the media said, how you feeling? He said, old and beat up. Francona led the Red Sox to 2 World Series appearances before joining Cleveland in 2013. He's taken the Guardians to 6 playoff appearances and the American League pennant in 2016. He wins everywhere he goes. And so Cleveland fans love him, players love him, but right now he's battling some health issues, been out a lot. So he has a record of 905 wins and 737 defeats with the Guardians, and overall he's won over 1,900 games in 23 seasons. He's 13th in the all-time wins list, moving past Hall of Fame manager Casey Stengel. How about that? He played 10 seasons in the majors, so Terry Francona's got to decide whether he's going to keep managing or he's going to hang it up because of his ongoing health problems. What else going on in Major League Baseball? We're live here again at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City, rather. It is hot out there today, so it's a good day to stop by and get some water, Dasani water, Coca-Cola products, peach milkshake, chocolate milkshake, frosted coffee, sweet tea, half and half tea, whatever it takes, lemonade to cool you down. Need to do it. Seattle Mariners trying to win their first American League West title since 2001, 19 years, and they are, no, more than that. It would be 21 years. No, 22 years. Is that West Virginia math? 22 years. Well, that's embarrassing. 22 years. But that's okay. If that's the only mistake I make today, I'm in good shape. I can tell you that. The Mariners have pulled in a half game, or 1 game, I should say, at first place. Latest in the season they've been at this point since 2007. That would be 16 years ago. Seattle a half game behind Houston and 1 game ahead of Toronto in the final American League wildcard spot. So they're the hottest team in baseball. They've scored 61 runs. They're averaging 8 runs a game during this winning streak, which is the longest active streak in Major League Baseball right now. So they are red hot, the Seattle Mariners. The second win streak of the season, at least 8 games in the same month. They're playing very good baseball. Over the past 46 games, they're 33-13. So Seattle red hot right now in the American League. Justin Verlander last night pitching for the Astros. Season high 9 batters and a strikeout over 6 scoreless innings. Astros get the win over the Red Sox in Houston, 7-3 the final. Justin Verlander coming over from the Mets, of course, threw 96 pitches while giving up 5 hits, 1 walk, and hit a batter. So Verlander, a solid performance, which they wanted and they need, of course, to make a run, and they're a half game out. Here's the standings. In the American League West, the Astros are a half game out. The Mariners are 1 game out. The Rangers in the West have lost 6 in a row, and they've lost 7 out of 10. The Astros have won 2 in a row, and the Mariners, as we said, have won 8 straight. So Texas hanging on here. They've lost 6 in a row. They're a half game better than the Astros and 1 game better than the Mariners in the West. In the Central, Minnesota leads Cleveland by 5 and the Tigers by 7. Detroit's won 6 in a row, or 6 out of 10 rather. In the East, the Orioles are hanging, trying to hold off the Rays, who've won 2 in a row and 7 out of 10. The Rays trail the Orioles by 2 in the American League East. And at the bottom, as we said, the Yankees have lost 9 in a row. In the National League, the Braves are the Braves. They're 12.5 better than the Phillies in the NL East. In the Central, Milwaukee's won 4 in a row and 7 out of 10. They lead the Cubs by 3.5. Lead the Reds by 4. The Cubs have won 6 out of their last 10. And the Dodgers in the West, double-digit lead over the Giants. They've won 8 out of 10. Have the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here's your schedule for this Wednesday. Afternoon games, the Cardinals in Pittsburgh, the Cubs in Detroit. Minnesota, Milwaukee. Milwaukee, Corbin Burns on the mound at 9-6, trying to get his 10th win of the season. It's always a coveted plateau in the pitching world to get 10 wins, and Burns is going to try and do that today in Milwaukee in a day game. Also, Seattle and Chicago, the Mariners have George Kirby on the mound. He's 10-8. And they've won 8 in a row. Kansas City at Oakland. San Francisco at Philadelphia. The Reds will take on the Angels in L.A. Shohei Ohtani on the mound at 10-5. Andrew Abbott will go for the Reds, who's 8-3. Another day game, Miami and San Diego in San Diego. Under the lights tonight, Colorado, Tampa Bay. Austin Gomber, 9-9, trying to get his 10th win for Colorado. Toronto will be in Baltimore tonight. The Yankees, trying to snap that 9-game skid with Luis Severino on the mound, will be taking on the lowly Washington Nationals. Well, the Yankees are lowly, too, at this point. The Dodgers will be in Cleveland. Clayton Kershaw, 11-4, having a heck of a year. Will be your starter for the Dodgers tonight in Cleveland. The Mets in Atlanta, Charlie Morton will go on the mound. He's 12-10, 7:20 first pitch against Jose Quintana for the Mets, who's 1-4. Boston will be in Houston, and Boston and Houston, and the Reds will be, as we said, in L.A. to battle the Angels in a doubleheader. So that's your Major League Baseball schedule for this Wednesday. Speaking of the Angels, they've activated Mike Trout after being out for a long time since July the 3rd. He's supposed to be out 8 weeks. Monday, yesterday marked 7 weeks he's been out, so he's coming back early. Angels entered the game yesterday with a record of 61-64. The Angels were 45-42 when Trout went down. So they have gone 16-22 with Mike Trout out of the lineup. So obviously he plays a big part in the success of the Los Angeles Angels. And there you go. And as we said, Terry Francona says this may be his last season as a manager for the Cleveland Guardians because of his health. So he said, I'm not going to talk about it now, but he said, yes, I'm talking to the management, the front office, and there is a chance this will be my last one because of my health. I don't want to. Well, let me just say this to you before we go to the break. We'll come back and talk some college football. If you've got your health, folks, you are way ahead of most people. I'm just telling you. So I'm getting ready to eat some Chick-fil-A food here in a few minutes, and I got a friend of mine right now who's having difficulty swallowing because of some medical situations. I'm going to be able to swallow some mac and cheese and some whatever I get. So you look around, and the fact if you can get up and walk out your door, you can do whatever you're doing. I promise you there's somebody somewhere who can't. So your health, never take your health for granted. So I think sometimes we do, but you shouldn't because it's very fleeting. It can be good one day, and it can go like that. By the way, if you what is that little boy's name? Blake Hobson. Little guy's got cancer. He's 7 years old. He starts his radiation and chemo. If you're the praying sort, would you fire one up for that little guy, Blake Hobson? Gosh, I hope it's his name. I know it's Hobson. Hope that's not his daddy's name. Anyway, little guy's going over to, where is he going? Winston-Salem, going somewhere in the Carolinas for his radiation and chemo. Please say something for that little guy. He's been a tough little fellow. Most kids are out playing ball and doing this and doing that. He's going through chemo and radiation. So say a prayer for him and his family, please. I want to say it's Blake. I know it's Hobson. Gosh, I was going to write that down last night, didn't I? Fell asleep. Zephaniah 3:17, our verse today. We unashamedly dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross. The Lord your God is with you. He is listen to that. The Lord your God is with you. God, he is mighty to save. Oh, he is. He will take great delight in you. How about that? He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. So there you go. You can't make him love you anymore. You can't make him love you any less. He just loves you. John 3:16. Everybody else turns their back on you. He doesn't. He says, I love you this much. Spread those arms wide and went up on the cross and took it. Happy birthday to Sonny Jurgensen, 89 today. Washington Redskin quarterback Chris Fowler, ESPN, having a birthday, 61. Singer Rick Springfield, 74 today. Remember this lady on TV? I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara Eden having a birthday. She's 92 today. And Shelley Long from the Cheers television show. Shelley Long, she played Diane in Cheers and some other movies and shows she's been in. She's having a birthday. She is 70. She's 74 today. We're live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Hello, Rob Fritz. Hopefully, I didn't have a chance to talk to him. Hopefully, he'll come by tomorrow and promote Hampton Sports. Tomorrow will be at the Jewelers Bench in Elizabethton, the only full-time, full-service jewelry store in Elizabethton, Carter County, serving folks all over the place. Holtzclaws do a great job up. Rob can come by tomorrow, talk about the Hampton Bulldogs. And then Friday, we'll kick off the weekend. We'll be at Food City in Gray on the Food City Friday. You know what time it is. It's time for Fisherman's Friend during the break here. So anyway, we're live. We'll take a look at some college football coming up next and some high school volleyball and high school soccer. We're live again. We are on the road, having a good time. Always like coming to Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Where's my buddy? I want to get her on. I want her to take this segment and run with it. She's our buddy Sherry Holtzclaw from the Jewelers Bench. And we'll be back right after this. Time out. You're watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show number 1940 on our way to 2,086 shows out. We're going to have a big hoorah when we get there in the first of the year. And it's going to be orchestrated, put together by Emmy Morgenstern. Can't wait. She's going to do it and do it right. Show number 2,000, the first of next year, right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Back with one of our great sponsors. Again, Sherry Holtzclaw with the Jewelers Bench. Valentine's Day. Here we go. I'm going to be your van of show and tell. Yep. We'll start with this
Here's
one first. Yep. And tell me about this, would you please?
So this is a yellow gold paper clip bracelet with diamonds.
Right.
It's $11.99.
Yep.
$1,199.
Yep. Got it in stock, ready to go. Sell a bunch of these, very popular. Here's the disclaimer every time we do this. Don't let this camera on the computer sway you about looking at this, because this thing's got a lot of bling to it. The camera just won't pick it up, I can promise you.
Prettier in person.
Oh,
always.
absolutely. Thank you. That's a good way to say it. Prettier in person.
Prettier in person.
At the Jewelers Bench, all right? Number two.
So these are sterling silver. They're half carat.
Whoa.
With diamonds.
Okay.
And those go for $299.
$299. Any lady looks smoking hot with those in her ears.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I love the shape of them.
I do, too.
They're not your typical diamond hoops.
Nope, they are not. I like them. $299. You know, I lose money every time you do this show. I end up buying stuff for people. So, but maybe not this year. Let's see what we got. So.
And then this is a sterling silver heart pendant.
Love that too.
With CZs, and it's $149.
Yeah, and again,
comes
it has
with the chain.
If you look at it right here, the lighting has a lot of bling to it. And there, not so much because the light's not there. We had a light back here bouncing off of it, which will when we come to the shop in a couple of weeks. There you go. That goes for how much?
$149.
$149.99. Love it. Okay. And I like these. These look really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
Those are pretty. All right. What else do we have?
Okay, so we have this double heart sterling silver necklace with diamonds.
Okay. Double heart. Oh, look at this. They're intertwined. Look at that.
With
I love
paper
it.
clip chain, $249.
$249 with a paper clip chain to go with it. $249. Any lady would love to have that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
From their significant other.
Yep.
So $249.
Heart can represent her, and then her significant other.
There you go. It's a his and hers kind of thing going on, or a hers and hims.
Yeah.
Either way. $249.
$249.
$249. All right. Good. Let's do one more here.
So
then
always a good gift. These are
Pearls.
cultured pearls.
Yep.
$269.
$269 for the cultured pearls. There you go. Very nice. Available at the Jeweler's Bench. Social media, how do we find you?
Facebook and Instagram, and then website is jewelersbench10.com.
Where are you physically located?
104 Broad Street, right across the street from Port Traps.
Yep. And the hours are open.
Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6, and then on Saturday, 9:30 to 4.
Yep. One of our great sponsors, folks, Valentine's Day. Don't miss out, guys. Good time to get out and shop. And quantities are limited. At the Jeweler's Bench, one of our great sponsors of Tom Douglas Sports and Elizabeth and Cyclone Sports and the Tom Douglas Sports Show. And back with the Tom Douglas Sports Show. It is hot out there today, and that's okay because it's not going to stay that way. I think you know that. I was getting ready to talk a little college football here, but I want to show you the weather and tell you the weather. So, hello, Rob, Jordan Mitchell, Della Campbell. It's 83 right now. It feels like 85. We're going for a high today at 90. Tomorrow, 91. Friday, 93. Saturday, 90. And then Sunday, Sunday 84. I'm going for the fisherman's friend. There it is. 84 on Sunday. 82 on Monday. Next Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be in the upper 70s. Be all right. No complaints from me. But I still like hot weather instead of cold weather. Yeah, currently 83, feels like 85 outside. Good day to stop by here at Chick-fil-A and cool down. All right, college football, here we go. Former Southern Cal running back Reggie Bush filing a defamation lawsuit against the NCAA today based on a statement they put out. The statement in question was issued to the media in 2021 in response to an inquiry about the possibility of Bush having his records and participation restored in light of changes to the name, image, and likeness rules that went into effect earlier that month back in 2021. This all has to do with Reggie Bush's attempt to have his 2005 Heisman Trophy reinstated. Bush forfeited the trophy in 2010, 13 years ago. Now we're going to drag this back up. After a 4-year extra benefits investigation determined that he and his family members, while he was a student athlete at Southern Cal, accepted cash, guilty, travel expenses, guilty, and a home in the San Diego area while playing for Southern Cal. So he had to forfeit his trophy. Now he's saying because the rule changes back then, name, image, and likeness, I'm okay with it now. I shouldn't be penalized. The home in San Diego where his parents lived rent-free for more than a year. And they were provided $10,000 to furnish, you need a new couch, new refrigerator. Need some new doilies on those end tables. You know what? You probably need a new bed. Probably a grandfather clock. We're just going to give you $10,000. It's okay. It's all right, Reggie. It's all right, Bubba. So he got caught. Had to forfeit his trophy, but now he's wanting to get it all back and get his Heisman Trophy reinstated. The Heisman Trophy folks have said since his season was vacated by the NCAA, his 2005, he's not eligible to win. However, here we go. If the NCAA were to officially restore his record, or records, it is expected Bush's trophy would be returned. So there you go. So Reggie Bush is filing a lawsuit today against the NCAA saying, you penalized me back then, but now you can't, because in 2021 we changed the rules. But you did it, sir, back in 2005. So I'm missing it, but I miss a lot of things in this whole world. But the infraction was, and the, I wouldn't say crime, but the infraction was done back in 2005. So 2021 is when they changed the rules for name, image, and likeness. And so he's saying we need to be able to reverse that now. I don't get it, but that's okay. I'm just reporting it. You decide how you think it should go, but I don't get that at all. So, but, hello, Jason Markley and Della Campbell. Oh, I see you talking to each other. Yep, there's going to be audio, video. Coming up Friday night at Morristown West, Berg-Tony Stadium. We'll go in there. Baker said it's a 7:30 kickoff. Now, I'm not being told that officially, but it may be on my phone. I'll check it here in a minute. But either way, we'll go out 35 minutes ahead of time to pregame to bring you all the action. Coach Van Us and yours truly will bring it to you. So if it's 7:30, we'll go in there about, 7:05. If it's a 7 o'clock kickoff, we'll go in there at 6:35. So either way, we'll just roll with it. Greg Sankey, SEC commissioner, says got to overhaul the playoffs. Yep. Got to overhaul it. Got to make changes. 12-team format, which helped author and agreed upon for the 2024 season, needs to be re-examined. That format, the 6 highest-ranked conference champions by the playoff committee, would make the playoffs, along with the next six highest-ranked teams. The 4 highest-ranked conference champions would earn the top seeds in the first-round bye. So now the same, and with good understanding, got to change all that. Not going to work since the Big 12 or the Pac-12 blew up. And so they're going to re-examine it. The FBS commissioners will meet next week in Dallas and then again in September in Chicago. The Southeastern Conference, the only conference to have had a team in the playoff every year since its inception in the 2014 season. Why are we surprised at the best college football conference in America? Sankey emphasized that the SEC would have been okay had the 4-team format with no automatic qualifiers stayed in place. They said, they want to go to 12. We're okay with that too. He said, remember, this is good. A little swipe. It was 65-7 last year. Georgia beating TCU in the championship game. Looked like a middle school team. They annihilated them, no question. And we won the year before in the SEC. We've had 2 teams in the national championship. I think there were 2 pretty decisive victories in the semifinals. So when they pick the SEC teams, they're picking right. So says Greg Sankey. But they do have to overhaul the format, and so look for that to be batted around pretty heavily next week when they meet. What I said they're going to meet in Chicago in September. Is in Dallas next week? I don't guess it matters where they're meeting, but it will be, Dallas next week. So there you go. All right, ACC football. Let's break it down here a little bit on this Wednesday afternoon. We're live here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. ACC, by the way, thanks to Salvation Army Captain Benny Carringer coming by, promoting the Salvation Army. It's an incredibly cool organization. The more I hear about it and be around it, learn about it, got some really cool things going on. So register to ring.com. Please go there and sign up to Ring the Bells once it starts. We need your help to stand out there and ring the bells. They can do 1, 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever. They ask for a minimum of 1 hour. I promise you'll get a blessing from it. Promise, because I did. When I did it, we'll do it again this year. Hope you'll join me. ACC football. ACC championship game has featured either Clemson or Florida State in all but 4 seasons since they started back in 2005. Both programs combining for 12 out of the 18 conference titles in that span. No question, Florida State and Clemson have been the class of the conference. Clemson's had the upper hand recently, winning the ACC in 7 out of the last 8 years. Mike Norvell's breakthrough as the head coach of the Florida State Seminoles in 2022 have the Noles back in the top 10. The two will play each other on September the 23rd and maybe again on December the 2nd, the ACC championship game. Since they're no longer members of the same division, they've gone just one division now. So there you go. Now let's take a look at who we got going on and what's going on. So Florida State just broke through with a 10-win season, but also lost all of its games against ranked opponents. Remember that. They got 10 wins last year, but lost every one of their games against teams that were ranked. Interesting stat. Miami. First season under Cristobal was a complete disaster, the head coach. They failed to get to the bowls for the first time since 2007. 16 years. Miami is 5th preseason poll. Schedule tough. They play Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina State, and North Carolina all on the schedule this year. So Miami got a tough schedule. Who else can make some noise? North Carolina, maybe. A lot of holes to fill from last year. A lot of folks say they're one of the ACC's 3 best teams behind Florida State and Clemson. We'll see. Louisville, program that has barely averaged 7 wins in the last 5 years. They're kind of in a regroup mode. Last coaches that went big in Louisville were Bobby Petrino and Charlie Strong. So now you've got a young man came over from Purdue, Jeff Brom, is your new coach for the Louisville Cardinals. Or was the new coach and is the new coach, or newest coach. How about that? The Pitt Panthers in the ACC. Keep an eye on them. Tied for 6th in the league's preseason media poll, but they don't play Clemson. They don't play Miami. They don't play North Carolina State. They do have Florida State and North Carolina in Pittsburgh. So Panthers won the conference title in 2021. Finished tied for 3rd last year. But Pitt's in the hunt. North Carolina State. They've been able to win at least 7 games in 8 of the last 8 seasons. And one of the 2 seasons, Coach Doran, to do that was his first. One of the 2 seasons he failed to do so was his first. He's managed to win at least 7 games in 8 of the last 10 seasons in Raleigh. Consistently finishing in the top half of the ACC's tougher division, so they're looking at them as a possibility in the ACC. So it comes down to, again, at the end of the day, they're still saying Florida State and Clemson will be your 2 teams in the ACC to battle for the championship. Top 25 college football this week. We've got 2 games on tap. 13th ranked Notre Dame, 2:30 on Saturday, hosting the Naval Academy. And number 6 Southern Cal on Saturday evening at the Coliseum in L.A., hosting San Jose State. Tennessee next Saturday will be in Nashville to battle Virginia, the neutral site, the Cavaliers and Titans Field, Nissan Stadium. Next Saturday a week, Tennessee football cranks it up. We are live again on the road here. We are. Brand new title sponsor, Ford of Elizabethton. Got a really cool thing going on right now. Ford of Elizabethton and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Elizabethton. Right now I get 10% off MSRP on select new Fords and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams. Plus, I like this, no payments for 90 days. How about that? Wow, that's a sweetheart deal there. Also, if you're a tailgater, they got the perfect tailgate vehicle, a Dodge Ram or the F-150 truck. Those are available at Ford of Elizabethton and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Elizabethton, where they go the extra smile and where car shopping is simple. I like it a lot. Good stuff. Our title sponsor of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're live again, as we said, in Johnson City at Chick-fil-A. Hello to Pete and Crystal Slagle. Their youngin' had a pretty good game last week. Yeah, to say the least. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We'll take a look at some pro football. We're here to the top of the hour. We are with you again live at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. We'll be right back after this. One of our great folks from Cannon Furniture. Tomorrow we have T.A. Duggar Cyclone football. 5:15 start, 5:30 kickoff, home opener against the Sevier Warriors who won last week over Crockett. So the battle of unbeatens tomorrow. Should be a big crowd there to cheer on the T.A. Duggar Cyclones. Middle school football. They won last week 50-0. Sevier was winning 26-12. I'll check that and let you know coming out of the break. We'll have that tomorrow. T.A. Duggar home opener football at Citizens Bank Stadium right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Millions of dollars of furniture in stock right now. Are you tired of hearing what you want is sold out? We have the largest selection of in-stock furniture in the area. We receive truckloads every day of special buys ready for you to pick up today or have delivered. Come get your new furniture at Cannon's Furniture in downtown Elizabethton.
So I'm Dr. Beth Cannon of Cannon Family Dental. We do a little bit of everything, cosmetic dentistry, general dentistry. We see all ages of patients. I like that patients are comfortable with bringing their family here. With smaller children, they're some of my favorite patients to see. We always try to make that first visit super happy where they get to come in, sit in the chair, see how they get pictures of their teeth and get their teeth brushed with a little silly brush. There's multiple families that have been with me since the beginning, and their kids were, my kids' age, like 7, 8 years old, and now they're grown up driving. They drive to their own appointments and make their own appointments, which is wonderful, and getting to see the kids and grow up with them. It's great to be a part of that. So if any of you are looking for a new dentist, we would love to have you join our family. Definitely give us a call if you'd like to come in.
Hey, it's your girl Mayani. A little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Cobb salad is the chicken. Literally, the nuggets, they smack. When you put those nuggets in the salad, it just brings the salad to life. I'll give it a 10 out of 10.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. And a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A market salad is that the chicken is super juicy and the apples can be a little tangy, also a little sweet as well. So there's just a ton of different flavors. It's just so good.
This is Big Country, and this is
Just Tom, and this is the Big Country Sports Show, and we say,
Go Cyclones.
Cyclones. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, Sevier beat Crockett 26-12, so it will be a battle of unbeatens tomorrow. 5:15 airtime, 5:30 first kickoff at 5:30. Airtime at 5, right around 5:15. The T.A. Duggar Cyclones and the Sevier Warriors out of Kingsport, who feeds into Dobbins Minute, of course. So that'll be tomorrow. The home opener for the T.A. Duggar Cyclones of head coach Brock Pittman. All right, pro football news. Starting quarterback's been announced for the Tampa Bay Bucks. It will not be Kyle Trask. It will be Baker Mayfield. That's being announced by their coach, Todd Bowles. So if you're a Buccaneer fan, you have your new starting quarterback. Trask may see action, but the starter will be Baker Mayfield. Mayfield, number 1 pick in the 2018 draft. On his 4th team, he's been with the Browns, the Rams, and Carolina. 1-year deal in the offseason worth $4 million. So he's the starting quarterback for week number 1 for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which will be next week. My boys, the Raiders, have no interest in trading Josh Jacobs, the star running back. Continues his holdout from the team. Hadn't been in there 1 minute in the training camp. So he says, I'm not coming in yet. And they said, we're not trading you. Well, there you go. Pro Bowl is set to return and play either on the terms of a $10 million franchise tag or a modified one-season salary. Now, I'm a Raiders guy. And you know that if you watch this show. I've followed them since I was a kid. Win, lose, or tie, I'm a Raider till I die. But I got to tell you, Josh Jacobs is a very selfish football player. $10 million is not enough. It's all about ego. He wants to be paid more Now, the guy ran for over 1,600 yards last year, 12 touchdowns. I get that. He fumbled the ball one time in the whole season. I get that. He's an incredibly talented player. But look across America right now. The folks are struggling, trying to make ends meet, and this guy's got $10 million sitting out there, and he don't want it. 10.1 to be exact. And basically, 16, 18 Sundays of football? So, as much as I like the Raiders and I love them, not a big fan of Josh Jacobs simply because I think he's being very selfish. $10 million, dude. Get in there, pull on the pads, let's go. That's pretty good bread. Well, I'm worth more. Well, okay. Negotiate the contract in the off-season. Raiders got a chance to be pretty good, and you're, maybe the missing piece. Maybe not. Maybe he's a locker room cancer. I don't know. I don't know how the guy is in the locker room. You can be a really good player and get in there in the locker room amongst your fellow players and can be an absolute dud. So I don't know how he is in the clubhouse. There's no way I would know that. But, my point is get in there, get settled up, get suited up, let's go. $10 million, pretty good bread across America right now. Folks, they could live on $10 million. NFL preseason final week. Tomorrow night, the Steelers will be in Atlanta. Philadelphia hosting the Colts. They've been practicing together, the Eagles and the Colts. They broke out in an all-out brawl. They had to stop practice, send them home yesterday. So they got in tens real quick. It's happened 2 or 3 times in the preseason in different teams. So Indianapolis and Philadelphia will play tomorrow night, 8 o'clock in Philly for the final preseason game. Friday's games, Tennessee, the Titans home against New England. Detroit will be in Carolina to battle the Panthers in Charlotte, and San Francisco hosting the Chargers. On Saturday, day games, Buffalo at Chicago at Soldier Field, the Vikings hosting Arizona. Super Bowl champs, defending champs, Kansas City, the Chiefs hosting the Browns. All these are day games at 1 o'clock. Seattle and Green Bay at Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Night games on Saturday, the Jets and Giants. The Bengals will be in Washington. Tampa Bay hosting Baltimore. Miami and Jacksonville play for the bragging rights, at least some of it, of Florida, even though Tampa Bay's there too. So Miami and Jacksonville in Jacksonville on Saturday evening. The Rams in Denver, and of course the only game that matters, the Raiders. And the Dallas Cowboys at AT&T Stadium in Big D, 8 o'clock on Saturday night. And the last game of the preseason season on Sunday, Houston and the Saints in New Orleans. That'll be your final week of preseason football. NFL cracks up an account starting next week, and Baker Mayfield will be the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Quick break. We'll come right back. We'll take a look at high school volleyball and soccer. See how that went yesterday and who's playing today after this time out for Food City. We're live, by the way. If you'd missed it, Thompson Bowling Arena is now going to be named and called with naming rights. Thompson Bowling Arena, the Food City Center. There you go. Pretty cool. Thompson Bowling Arena, the Food City Center. Back after this on the Tom Davis Sports Show.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher that can offer seafood meal prep, suggest the perfect sides to pair, and even steam and peel your shrimp. All at no extra cost. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
I bet he'd be great at helping with the laundry.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
So we're at Brummett Sports Shop in Elizabeth, and Lori Wilson, the owner, and one of the hot items going into the holidays are varsity jackets or Letterman jackets. Tell us about it.
Well, Tom, we do varsity jackets for all our local schools. These are Holloway jackets, and the body is 24-ounce wool, and then most of the jackets we will get leather sleeves on them. We can also do the wool sleeves. But like I said, they're Holloway, so they're high-quality jackets. We can do any color for any school. We will put your school letter on the front, your name. See, this one has a name. We also have a local lady here that makes the patches. So the turnaround time is really pretty short for a custom jacket. The other thing we will do is if you play a sport, we will put a ball patch with your number in it, your varsity years that you played. We can do inserts, like we do a cross for FCA. We can do ball inserts if you play basketball or football or whatever. We also have band jackets. So here we have a band letter for this young lady. And one other thing we do are like custom patches, embroidered patches. So she plays mellophone and French horn, so she requested that. So we put that on her jacket. If you're all conference, if your team won the conference, we can do that. Let's see, on the back of the jackets, we can do either the, like the nickname for your school. So this is Betsy Band. We also have Vikings for Tennessee High, Pioneers for Crockett, Greenville for the Greenville jacket. Another option for the back of the jacket is we can do your name and number.
Awesome.
Yeah, so, and then also we have position patches. So C for center, or we had one earlier that someone picked up, point guard, so that was PG and SG. But we do all local schools. Like I said, they're Holloways, so they're good quality jackets, and we sell a lot of them. And the kids love these jackets. They love to show off their accomplishments, their team's accomplishments, and represent their school.
Tell us how we can get a hold of you.
Okay, our phone number is 423-542-2321. We also have a Facebook page, Brummett Sports Shop, so you can message me there. You can message me on my personal Facebook page, Lori Wilson, or you can email at brummittstn, that's BRUMITSTN @charter.net. We'd love to hear from you.
And Michael, the Tom Dillon Sports Show. Let's take a look again at soccer from yesterday and how did things go. Dobbins met Science Hill. Science Hill wins over DB 3-1. Westridge 4-1 over Morristown West. Unicoi County blanks Daniel Boone in soccer 9-0. Greenville shuts out Tennessee High 2-0. University High beat Cosby 6-0. And Chucky Doak 12-0 over West Green and girls high school soccer. Nobody on the schedule today, at least the schedule we have. Tomorrow, Thursday, Elizabethton plays at Morristown West. Daniel Boone will be at Tennessee High. Unicoi County Soccer at Westridge. Sullivan East at Cherokee. Providence Academy at Volunteer. And Cumberland Gap at West Green. That's volleyball tomorrow. So we'll run down to football. Our game has been moved to 7:30 Friday night. There you go. So thank you, Lisa Baker, for letting me know that. We confirmed it. All right, volleyball from last night. Greenville defeated Elizabethton 3-1. So beat them in 4 sets. It'd be 3-1. Providence Academy over Apostolic Christian 3-1 in volleyball. Westridge beats Daniel Boone 3-0. Johnson County in volleyball defeats Unicoi County 3-1, and Sullivan East ladies over Chucky Doak 3-1. In girls high school volleyball today, Gate City with Michaela Bays, they're a good team. Gate City playing at Daniel Boone tonight, and Johnson County will be at Crockett. In girls high school volleyball, there's a busy lady right there. Busy, busy, busy. Connie, our marketing lady here at Chick-fil-A. She is hopping since I got here. Hello, Josh Wallen. J-Train will be ready to go Friday night. It's a 7:30 kickoff, so we'll go on air at what time will we go on? 6:55, I guess it'll be. Airtime. 6:55 with a 7:30 kickoff at Morristown West. They moved it back half hour to help, I'm assuming, with traveling with the heat. So it is 7:30. Got that confirmed, and so there you go. Thank you, Lisa Baker, for alerting me, and she's a good one. Appreciate her very much. Good lady. Let's run down everybody playing now at 7:30. Elizabethton and Morristown West, Science Hill to Anderson County. Greenville will be at Dobbins Minute. We'll go down to state rankings here in a second again. Hampton at Johnson County, Unicoi County to Happy Valley, Thomas Walker at Cumberland Gap. These are all 7:30 kickoffs on Friday night. The 7 o'clock games, Westridge will be at Daniel Boone, Sevier County, the Smoky Bears at Jeff County. Cherokee will play in Jonesboro at Crockett on Friday night. Tennessee High at Sullivan East. Granger, the Grizzlies at Chucky Doak. Pigeon Forge hosting Northview Academy. Lakeway Christian will be in Churchill to battle Volunteer. Union County at Claiborne. And that's your games. West Green at Cloudland. That's your football games on Friday night in Northeast Tennessee. Let's run down the polls before we get out of here again. Compliments of John City Press. 6A, top 10, Murfreesboro, Oakland, Bradley Central, the Maryville Rebels, number 3, Riverdale 4, Germantown 5, Farragut 6, Brentwood Academy, or Brentwood 7, Bearden 8, Collierville 9th, and Cane Ridge 10th. Dobbinsville at Science Hill, honorable mention 6A. 5A football, your top 10 in the state, first polls out. Knox West, number 1, no question there. 17 first place votes. Virtually unanimous. Not totally, but Page got a vote. They're number 2 in the state. Knox Powell 3, Henry County 4, Nolensville will come in at number 5, Springfield 6, Beach at number 7, Munford 8, Sevier County, the Smoky Bears in at number 9, and Centennial will come in at number 10. Daniel Boone, honorable mention, statewide polls in 5A football. In 4A, Greenville number 1, Anderson County number 2, Elizabeth number 3, Pearl Cone number 4, Red Bank at number 5, Haywood County number 6, then comes Upperman, Hardin County, Stone Memorial, and Marshall County in that order, top 10 of the state in 4A football. In 3A, Alcoa, winners of 8 straight state championships. That's an incredible stat. Doug Pritz was telling us earlier in the show. And on top of that, you have 8 straight state championships and 7. Then a new coach last year came on board and won it again. That, to me, is very impressive. Alcoa number 1 in 3A. Then comes East Nashville, Gatlinburg, Pittman number 3 in the state. Dyersburg, Giles County, Covington 4, 5, and 6. 7th in 3A football, Sweetwater. Westview at number 8, Tyner Academy number 9, and Chucky Doak gets an honorable mention in 3A football. In 2A, top 10 of the state, Riverside at number 1 to get 10 first place votes out of 18. By the way, Alcoa got all 18 votes in 3A. Murfreesboro, Oakland got 16 out of the 18 in 6A. Bradley Central and Germantown got the other 2. Knox West got 17 out of 18. Page got the other vote. In 4A, it was more scattered. Greenville got 9 votes. Pearl Cone 7. Haywood County 1 and Upperman 1. Elizabeth didn't get any statewide first place votes. Goofy. 3A, Alcoa, as we said, got all 18. 2A, Riverside has 10. Then comes Milan with 4 first place votes. Huntington 3rd. The Hampton Bulldogs got a vote for being number 1 of the state. They're 4th. York Institute 5th. East Robertson with 3 votes at number 6. Then comes Lewis County, Marion County, Smith County, and Fayetteville. South Green got an honorable mention in 2A football. Then in single A, McKenzie gets 12 out of the 18 first place votes. South Pittsburgh, the second place team, they got 6. McKenzie 1, South Pittsburgh 2 in 1A. Then comes Dresden, Coalfield, Whitwell, Union City, Gordonsville, Cloudland. How about it? The Highlanders in number 8. Sale Creek number 9, and Moore County rounds out the top 10 in single A football. And that's the way it rolls again on this Wednesday. We're live finishing things up here at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Big thanks to Doug Fritz, sports writer, Johnson City Press, Kingsport Times News. Also big thanks to Captain Benny Carringer with the Salvation Army coming by. Tomorrow in Elizabethton at the Jewelers Bench will be there. Sean Whitten joins us tomorrow, head football coach of the Cyclones. Also, Greg Salyer stops by talking Major League Baseball, as only he can. He's a resident expert. Can the Yankees snap the skid tonight? They've lost 9 in a row. If they lose 10, it'll be the first time they've lost 10 in a row since 1913. Aaron Boone's still there. I'm not advocating the guy gets fired, but typically the first thing they do is they fire the manager. So But so far, the Yankee front office says, no, we're hanging. So with Aaron Boone. Braves play tonight against the Mets. Charlie Morton on the mound for Atlanta, 7:20 first pitch. The Reds will play 2 in L.A. to battle the Angels. Shohei Ohtani on the mound in game number 1 for the Angels against the Reds in Los Angeles, rather. One more time, happy birthday to Sonny Jurgensen, Washington Redskin quarterback, 89 today. ESPN's Chris Fowler, 61 today. Singer Rick Springfield having a birthday, 74 today. Remember watching the show I Dream of Jeannie? Barbara Eden, what did she do? Wiggled her nose, crossed her arms, wiggled her nose. Barbara Eden's having a birthday. She's 92 today. And the lady who played Diane on Cheers, Shelley Long's having a birthday. She has 74 candles in her birthday cake on this Wednesday, August the 23rd, countdown to Christmas if you care, and most don't. 123 days to Christmas Eve. Hard to believe. Big thanks to our title sponsor, Ford of Elizabethton, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram of Elizabethton, hometown dealer. Right now you get 10% off MSRP, 10% right off the top on select new Fords and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Rams. Plus, I like this, no payments for 90 days at Ford of Elizabethton and Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Appreciate them very much. Out of time, we sincerely thank you for yours. Back at it tomorrow. It's church night tonight. If you don't have a church home, we'd love to invite you to come visit and attend church with us tonight at Pleasant Beach Baptist Church in Elizabethton. Love to see you. We have the Master Club with the kids at the adults in the sanctuary at 7. Prayer meeting. Love to see you. We'll wrap it up with the verse today. We unashamedly tell you, Zephaniah 3:17. The Lord your God is with you. With you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He'll rejoice over you with singing. What a verse. Zephaniah 3:17. Good way to end it. See you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching show number 1914, 1,914th show. On our way to 2,000. We'll do that at some point next year. And I tell you every day, because I'm very proud, she has come on board. She's a wedding planner extraordinaire. That would be Emmy Morgenstern, said she wants to come on board and whip up the celebration for the 2000 show. We'll do that the first part of next year. See you back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Show number 1914 from Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. We'll close it by always saying, bloom where you're planted. And win or lose, be a good sport. Thanks for watching the show, folks. Like it and share it. See you back here.